Welcome to the Explainer. You hear the word average all the time, right? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and see what it really means.
So let me ask you a question. It's probably one you haven't really thought about, but honestly, in today's world, it's so important. When you see a news report or some study that throws out an average number, what are they actually telling you? You might be surprised to find out it's not always what you think.
Look, we are swimming in data every single day. There's just no way you can remember every little detail. I mean, imagine trying to remember the income of every single person in a country. It's impossible. So we need a shortcut, a single number that can kind of stand in for the whole group and give us a general idea. And that's where statisticians come in with their trusty toolkit. The fancy name for it is measures of central tendency. But all that really means is finding the center of the data, that sweet spot where all the numbers seem to clump together. Today, we're going to break down the three big ones you absolutely need to know.
Okay, let's open up that toolkit. First up, the big one. The one we all learned in math class. You know it, you love it, the mean.
This is probably the average you think of first. It's super simple. You just add everything up, and then you divide by how many things you added. That's it. It's kind of like a democracy. Every single number gets an equal say.
So let's make this real. Say we've got the monthly pay for 10 employees. We add up all their salaries one by one, and boom, we get a grand total of 25,300 rupees.
Okay, so we've got our total, 25,300. We just divide that by our 10 employees, and what do we get? A mean salary of 2,530 rupees. See? Easy.
Now, the mean is super popular for a reason. It's easy and it includes every piece of information. But, and this is a huge but, it has a fatal flaw. It's really, really sensitive. One crazy high or low number, what we call an outlier, can throw the whole thing way off. So if the mean is sensitive, what's our alternative? Well, let's bring in our next tool, Meet the Median. It's totally unflappable, the true master of the middle ground. The median plays a completely different game. It doesn't care about the total sum. Nope. It's all about location, location, location. All you do is line up all your numbers from smallest to biggest. The median is just the number that's smack dab in the middle. It cuts the line perfectly in half.
Right. Think about it this way. You line up 7 people by height. The median height? It's just the height of the fourth person in line. Simple. But what if you have an even number, like 8 people? Well, there's no single person in the middle, right? So you just find the 2 people in the middle, person 4 and person 5, and find the average of their heights.
And here's the median superpower. This is what makes it so different from the mean. It is not bothered by extreme values at all. Think about that room of people with normal incomes. If a billionaire walks in, the mean income goes through the roof, but the median income? It barely budges, because the person in the middle of the line is still pretty much in the same spot. Okay, on to our third and final tool. This one's different yet again. Let's talk about the mode. The mode is just a popularity contest. Yep, that's all it is. The mode is the value that shows up most often, the most common, the most frequent. You could even call it the most fashionable number in the group. It's the one you see again and again. And finding it is usually a piece of cake. Just look at this string of numbers. Scan through them. What do you see most often? Yep, the number 8. It pops up 3 times, more than any other number. So 8 is our mode. Done. So when would you use this? Well, it's perfect for finding the most typical thing. If you own a shoe store, you don't care about the average shoe size in a mathematical sense. You want to know the modal size, the size you sell the most of, so you can stock up. And just like the median, a guy with giant feet walking in won't change that. Okay, so we've got our 3 contenders: mean, median, and mode. 3 different answers to the question, what's the average? But why does it matter which one you use? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's throw them in the ring together with our salary example. All right, back to our original 10 employees. We've got a mean of 2,530, a median of 2,525, and a mode of 2,400. You know, they're all kind of in the same ballpark. Seems like it doesn't really matter which one you pick, right? But hold on. Let's throw a wrench in the works. What if the CEO walks into the room and her salary isn't 2,000 something, it's 50,000 rupees a month? Now we have 11 people. What does that one massive salary do to our 3 averages?
Whoa, now this is the whole point right here. Just look at those numbers. The mean salary, it just exploded. It shot up from around 2,500 all the way to almost 7,000. It's totally misleading now. But the median, it just nudged up a tiny bit to 2,550. And the mode didn't even flinch. Which numbers give you a better feel for what a typical employee makes? It's the median and the mode, for sure.
And that is the punchline. A company could honestly report that its average salary is almost 7,000 rupees, and they wouldn't be lying. Not if they use the mean. But it paints a very, very different picture, doesn't it? This is why you have to know which average they're talking about to get the real story. Here's a little insider secret for you. In a lot of real-world data, these 3 numbers aren't just random. They're actually connected. There's this really neat relationship between them. So much so that if you know 2 of them, you can often make a pretty good guess at the 3rd using this formula. It just goes to show how they all dance around that central point together.
So, let's wrap this up. What's the big takeaway? Just remember that each average has its own personality. The mean is the classic, democratic one, but it's a total drama queen when outliers show up. The median is the steady, reliable rock in the middle of the stream. And the mode, that's your popularity contest winner, telling you what's most typical.
So we'll leave you with this. The point of all this isn't to make you a statistician. It's to make you a smarter consumer of information. It's about asking better questions. So from now on, whenever you hear that word average, I hope a little voice in your head pops up and asks, yeah, but which one?